Hi, welcome to Gospel for Real TV. I'm still your regular host, Alexander OCHEGA, and we are in the next series, which is Satan Demystified Part 9. I want to welcome the new viewers to this series. God bless you for tuning in, and I believe you're going to have an amazing time encountering the truth. I also want to, in a special way, recognize and appreciate those who have been tuning into this channel. God bless you. Now, in our last discussion, we discovered that the woman of Revelation chapter 12 is referring to the church. And it was a beautiful time, seeing that revelation from the book of Revelation. And so now, having understood that that woman is the church, we will now understand what Satan was doing there. Now, the question is, since Satan is not omnipresent, why was Satan in heaven if his activities are restricted to the earth realm, to the flesh of man? And so, for us to understand that, we must understand certain things about heaven. Heaven is not a singular place. The Bible is very clear that heaven is always referred to in the scriptures in plural. This is because God has demarcated existence into realms, different realms. So let's see some biblical pointers to that. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the very beginning, you see, in the beginning God created the heavens in plural and the earth. And if you read Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 14, you see that also. The heaven is referred to in the plural. If you read Psalm 97 verse 6, you also see that. Now somebody may say, no, that's just the Old Testament. What does the New Testament have to say? The New Testament is very emphatic about it. That the heaven is not a singular place. There are many realms, in the heavenlies. If you read the book of Matthew chapter 3, from verse 16, you see it clearly. When Jesus came out of the waters during the baptism, the Bible records, the heavens were opened unto him, and the Holy Spirit came down. And of course, you remember the story of Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, from verse 2, and where Paul stated expressly that he was caught up to what? The third heaven. Wow, he was caught up to what? The third heaven. So, you see, in the Bible, generally, heaven is not one place. Heaven is in realms, in demarcations. And so, you must understand which heaven he's talking about. So, you see, in the book of Revelation, John was in the Spirit on the Lord's Day when he began to see these visions. And like I told you before, this book of Revelation was given in symbols. So, when he said he saw in heaven a woman, and then Satan was there in the heavens. It tells you that he was talking about the spiritual realm. Now we must understand something about Satan. Satan is not a physical being. Satan is not a man. We studied that in the very first part of this series. Satan is not a man. Satan is a spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. That's why, if you read clearly in Matthew chapter 12, I think from verse 24 to verse 26, and the Gospel of John chapter 13 from verse 21 down, you see to I think verse 27, you now see clearly that Satan is a spirit that operates in the spirit realm, which is usually referred to as the heavens. But what is the job of Satan? What is he doing in the spirit realm? Bless your heart. The work of Satan, what he usually does in the spirit realm, is simply to affect the flesh. Like I told you in the last part, that Satan is like a spirit, a software that's attached to the flesh. It's a spirit that influences the flesh, manipulates the flesh for its destruction. So, it is clear that Satan is a spirit that's working in the children of disobedience. Just like Ephesians chapter 2, I think verse 1 states, So, that is why in Matthew chapter 16 verse 23, Jesus said something specifically to Satan. when he was influencing Peter, the wrong way. Jesus rebuked Satan, and what did he say? He said, "Get thee behind me, Satan, for you are concerned about the things of man and not the things of God." So what is Satan doing in the spirit realm, which is referred to as the heavenlies? He is influencing man for destruction. And you see, the woman was pregnant with a child. To let you understand that the heaven we're talking about here is not a singular place. Immediately the woman gave birth to the child, or the son that will rule the nations with a rod of iron. What happened? They say the child was caught up to God and his throne. If he was in a singular heavenly places, where was the son caught up to? And we all know that in Isaiah chapter 66 verse 1, God stated it expressly that heaven is my throne. So you see, the woman was in the heaven, the serpent, the dragon was trying to devour her child, her son, but the son was caught up to God and his throne. So there is a higher realm that the child was caught up to. Heaven is not a singular place. Heaven is in many realms, and Satan is in one of these realms, restricted to that realm to manipulate the flesh for its destruction. The simple reason is this: the heavens determine what happens on the earth. In the book of Daniel, Daniel was told expressly by the angel that heaven rules. So, what happens in the heavenlies affects what happens on the earth. And so in the realm of the spirit where Satan dwells, Satan is restricted to that particular realm to manipulate the flesh for the destruction of the flesh. So when the book of Revelation saw Satan in heaven, it's simply telling us that Satan is a spirit dwelling in the spiritual realm. And what is it doing there? Is affecting the human flesh. That is why in the book of Jude, it was very clear, an example over there. When Satan was contesting for the body of Moses, why was Satan not contesting for the spirit of Moses or contesting for the soul of Moses, but for the body, the flesh of Moses? Because that is where his job is. His job is restricted to the human flesh, to the human body. And his job description is concerned about the things of man and not the things of God. So can we not understand why Satan is described in the book of Revelation as being in heaven? God is the only being that can be in all places at the same time. And like I told you, heaven is in many realms. Existence have been demarcated, but God is in all demarcations and in all realms. Satan is not in all demarcations and in all realms. Satan is in a realm restricted by God, but a realm that makes him to affect the human flesh. So in the next video, which is going to be the conclusion, it's going to be, what do we do about Satan? What should the Christian, or what should the believer, how should the believer react or respond to the reality and the existence of Satan? And by the mercy and grace of God, we're going to explore the truth. The Bible is filled with instructions on how we can deal with Satan. So why not hook up to this channel, Gospel for Real TV, and don't miss the next episode, Satan Demystified Part 10, which is the conclusion. God bless you for staying tuned. You can please subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the next part. I love you.